Elders wipe away our tears and they ease our fears. They have unconditional love and the blessings come from above. Elders help us all grow in many, many ways through important acts like encouragement and praise. Elders know they need to be there for us, and we will need them forever and ever to show us their care. A very good evening to all of you present here, and a very warm welcome to each and every one of you to this Elder Hour and our Elders First Festival. I'm really thankful to all you elders for your support and wisdom that makes our lives a bit easier and much happier. It is said, we have power to move mountains with our minds if we harness the energy in the right manner. Therefore, no doubt that brain is our most powerful tool. Its presence can be felt in everything that we do and we feel. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into the magic formula to focus and energize our memory with Anand Kasi Butler. So just to talk a little more about him, Anand Kasi Butler is a Limca record holder for memory with over 25 years of training experience. He's an international speaker, trainer, and an author who has delivered his workshops in 9 countries. He's an expert on how to strategize for focus and memory skills. He's an author of How to Become a Top Student, published from Malaysia, and Instant Memory Improvement, published from Singapore. He works with professionals and business owners to enhance their focus and memory skills so that they can manage all distractions. By applying his powerful strategies, his participants boost their personal productivity, which will help them in taking their business to the next level. He conducts coaching classes for business owners, professionals, educators, and even for students preparing for the competitive exams. He has worked with celebrities like movie stars, politicians, defense personnel, and members of the royal family of Malaysia. He's a charter member of Toastmasters Club in Malaysia, and he has been on the board of Malaysian Association of Professionals and served there as the treasurer too. So with that, I would now like to welcome and hand over the mic to Mr. Anand and get started with turbocharging our brains. So Mr. Anand, a very warm welcome to you and really a pleasure to have you again on our platform. And really looking forward to today's session with you.
Thank you so much.
And I wish that all the books that you've written, we had them when we were younger, so we could have turbocharged our brains and done much more. So
great.
Over to you then.
Thank you very much, Ritu. Thank you so much for inviting me back here. And it's always a pleasure to interact here. In fact, as you said, the elders are the one who has actually guided us all the way. So, it's my pleasure to, make this little contribution. And I'm sure those of you are attending here, whether you are an elder, whether you're younger, doesn't matter. I'm sure you will get some value. So let me start with a simple question. What we'll do is we'll keep this chat as this program as interactive as possible. And what I would request all the participants is to keep your chat settings to list and attendees, so that everyone can see what's happening in chat. Yeah. Okay. So let's get started. So first of all, if you all can hear me, can just put a yes in the chat box, so I know that my mic settings are okay and I'm able to reach you. Can you just put an yes in the chat box if you're able to hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. Okay, thanks, Praveen, Archana, Rajesh. Thank you so much. So, Arun, thank you so much. So let's go on and let me ask you this simple question first. How many of you here want to have a fantastic memory? Or you want to turbocharge your brain power? If you can just, if that's you, can you just put me in the chat box so I know that you're looking for that? Okay. Okay, all of you. Thank you, Mr. Arun. Thank you so much. And how many of you here want to get results very faster, effortlessly? Now, everybody wants results, but if you want to have results very fast, you can put yes in the chat box again. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Nilima. Nilima, can you change your settings to all participants as well so that everybody can see your comments as well? Thank you. Okay, let's move on. You're in the right place because we'll be talking exactly about that. We'll be talking about how to turbocharge your brain power. So we'll be talking a little bit on focus, a little bit on memory. And my commitment is by the end of the webinar, you'll be having some very powerful takeaways with the help of which you'll be able to scale up your memory to the next level. So that's my personal commitment. Yeah. So let's move on. And I want to say a big thank you for the Emoha group, the entire everybody there, for inviting me once again. And thank you for joining. All of you are joining from a lot of locations you have been joining in. Thank you so much. And that's me very quickly. I'm India's #1 focus and memory coach with more than 25 years of experience. And I help my participants to double their results with half the time and effort which they normally put in. And I put the results as open, because different kinds of people are looking for different kinds of results, and I work with everybody. All right. And why keep the results open? Like, everybody will get results is simply because one connecting thing which connects all the results is how well you can use your mind power, and that's what we'll be going to talk about. Yeah. And very quickly, can I just have a quick idea from where all you are? Let's make it very participative so that we can interact with each other. I'm not personally there, but let me tell you, my soul is with you. All right. I'm no, even though physically not there, mentally 100% 100% present here. So let's make it as interactive as possible. So very quickly, where are you from? You can just put in your location. Where are you? So that I'll have a quick idea about from where you are. Noida. Okay. From Hyderabad. Oh, I was born in Hyderabad, now in Visakhapatnam, Gurgaon. My office still in Gurgaon, actually. Because of lockdown, I moved out. A lot of people here from Gurgaon. Wow, Tej Kumar, Arun, Puri, Rajesh. Oh, a lot of people from Gurgaon. Oh, we have from Dehradun also, Pravina Tiwari. Okay, okay, welcome everybody, welcome. We have from West Delhi, Neelu, thank you so much. Okay, so let's move on. And this is what I want to start with. This very, very powerful thing. A bar of iron costs $5. If it is made into horseshoes, maybe it's worth $12. And if it is made into needles, it's probably worth $3,500. And if it is made into balance springs for watches, it's probably worth more than $300,000. Now, why bring it up is because our own value is also determined by what we make of ourselves. Now, this little thing which is inside here, that is going to change everything for us. So yeah, so let's get going and let's work on that. So let very quickly, my story, I just want to share very quickly. And here we am. Oh, sorry. Okay, that's me. I'm Indian national record holder. I'm a LIMCA record holder for memory, and I'm an international speaker, trainer, author, and that's my record, which I got back in 1997. So May 4, 1997, I got my record, and this record is still not broken. Okay, I have memorized 73 telephone numbers in just less than an hour. And those days there were no, there were no mobile phones that time, and there were no phone banks also. There was Casio was releasing 128 KB memory books that time. I don't know how many of you actually remember that. Yeah. So let's move on. And this is one picture which I've taken 25 years ago, which was leading my first ever workshop on focus and, on memory actually that time. And if you're looking, if you're thinking, where is this guy hiding? Okay, let me, okay, that's me. Okay, that was 25 years ago. A lot of things changed, right? So that was me 25 years ago, and I was the youngest in the group, as you can see. I was leading that, and the one who is right here, he's 78 years old, and he was that time one of the most senior lawyers of Hyderabad. Okay, so here we go, and these are the countries which I worked in. These are the books which I've done. The first book is published from Malaysia. The second one published from Singapore. And these are the companies. If you ask me, Anand, what have you done in the last 25 years? What where all you have been working or training people? So these are some of the countries, companies where I've done my in-house workshops, like GlaxoSmithKline, LG, Nestle, Petronas, Shell, Bank Niagara. I mean, this is just a partial list. So what happens is you take a power logo and put it in the PowerPoint, everything goes for a toss. So it takes a long time to set it up. So I've just put some of the things here. You can actually check my website. You'll find a lot of other information also. You can Google my name also. All right. So these are some of the companies. And today it's not about me. It is about you getting maximum result. Now I want to give you maximum result, and that's my commitment and that's my effort. And let's get started. And for that, you have been participating well. I just want you to make sure, remind you again that please do participate, because one of my mentors said something very interesting. He said, participate. If you just see the word here, participates has got the letter PART. It starts with part. If you don't participate in something, you will never be a part of it. So you got to participate. All right. So you have been participating. Great. That's awesome. And I'm looking at the chat box. I'm, seeing the chat box. So if you have any questions, you can always ask me. Hi, Pawan. Welcome, Dr. Pawan. Okay. So please make sure that you don't have any distractions for the next probably 1 hour, or maybe 55 minutes. Make sure you don't have distractions. Why I'm saying this is because what I'm going to share, probably that will give a lot of value. So if you have some distractions going on, maybe you may not be able to get the complete value of it. So anyway, I decided to be here. So please be here 100% so that you can get a maximum out of the workshop or the webinar. So if you're running any apps parallelly, you can actually close them down temporarily. The reason being, it's not just your computer bandwidth taken away, your mental bandwidth will also go away. There's no mistake from your side. It's not your problem as such. That's how the mind behaves. You're looking at something and there's a Facebook going on or email going on in the background. So you'd always want to see, okay, who has liked my post? Did I get an email? Am I missing some message in my WhatsApp? So this is how the mind works. The mind just needs one small trigger to run away from wherever it is, right? So make sure you switch off all your things which are apps which are running in the background. So let's get going. And I would recommend that you have a pen and paper handy. Now, the reason for that is just by having a pen and paper handy, your focus will be much better. I'm not talking this as any regular trainer talking about this. Yes, of course, a lot of trainers talk about this, but I'm specifically talking in terms of your focus and memory. Now, why I want you to have a pen and paper handy is very, very simple. Now, what happens is, when you are looking at something, your mind have all the freedom and flexibility to run away. It can think of something else when you're looking at something. When you're hearing, the same thing happens. You're hearing something, but you could be thinking of something else. But when you're writing down something, you will be disabled to think of something else other than what you're writing. So just the moment you have a pen and paper handy, it's like, instruction for the mind that pay attention. So you'll actually capture. And one more thing, writing is like a multi-sensory lock. When you write something, you're processing it inside your brain, you're physically writing it, you're seeing it. So there are a lot of senses which are involved, and that gets locked into your brain. So that's the reason why you have a pen and paper. It's very, very powerful, so that you can take a lot of stuff back home. So let's get started. So if you're equally excited like me, can you just put start in the chat box? So I know that we are ready to start and we can get rolling immediately. Can just put a start if you're ready in the chat box. Let's put a start so that we'll just start and go dive into the system. Thank you, Naresh. What about the other people? Okay, yeah, Praveen, thank you. Okay, let's go on. Let's start. Okay, so what we'll be doing here is we'll be putting the puzzle together in terms of your memory first, and then as the time permit, we'll also talk about a bit of focus as well and see how things work. And we'll be talking about little best practices which you can work on. And best practices are very, very, very important. The reason, you just pick up any profession for that matter, be it doctors, be it lawyers, HR practitioners, chartered accountants, take any profession, they have some best practices, lined out for them. So they'll be following those best practices if they want to get into that profession or, scale their journey in that profession. Now, one simple thing which is missing in life, we have been using your brain for as long as we remember, but we have never told about the best practices. The most sorry state which we are living in, nobody is responsible for that. It just happened like that. And that is, there is no formal training on how to remember, how to read, how to focus, how to learn. The how to is totally missing. Neither the schools nor at the dining table, people have information on how to remember. All the time, we always got, as a kid, if you remember, you always got the guidance like, okay, you read this, you remember this, you focus here, you learn this. How to read, not discussed. So that's the sad part. The how to is totally missing. When how to is missing, people will get into their own systems, and sometimes they don't get results, sometimes they get result, but it's all like experiment. I want to tell you something upfront, like you can actually laugh, because it's okay, because that's a fact, and it's very personal, but it's a very interesting fact as well. And that is, it took me 19 long years to know how to brush my teeth. I'm not joking. 19 years. When I was 19 years old, I went to a doctor. I was having some problem. So the doctor asked me, "Hey, Anand, how do you brush your teeth?" So I was like, "Doc, I'm 19 years, okay?" That age, people will be, very high kind of energy, and they think they know everything. So I was also from the same thing, right? So I said, "Doc, I'm 19 years, okay?" He said, "You're 19, you're 90, I don't care. How do you brush your teeth?" So I know that, okay, he's not going to fall for that thing. So I just was, like a dummy example. I was showing that, okay, I brush my teeth like that. He said, hold on, hold on, hold on. He stopped me. And he got a dummy pair of teeth. And he has shown that how I was brushing was actually damaging my teeth. The first time in my life, I knew that the brush has to go up and down, not like that. Nobody told me. 19 years, I was actually damaging my teeth. This is a part of life. And the same thing goes for the academics also. People do learn, people do read, people memorize, they get results, but are they doing it right is the first question. I have a participant from Australia. He's 71 years old, and he has been a doctor as in doctorate, PhD doctor actually, and he has been studying all the time, a very good performer in academics. And even at 71, he was actually taking an exam. So there is something called as Justice of Peace. Yeah, Justice of Peace exam, and when somebody passes that, they will actually get the equivalent to ambassador in the protocol kind of a thing. So he was writing the exam, and then he said, Anand, can you help me out? I want to prepare a lot of stuff. So I said, okay, this is how you read, this is how you can learn stuff. And he said, Anand, I have to agree something. I asked him what. He said, 70 years I have been reading, and now I know I have been doing it all wrong. Like Ritu was talking about, if only I met you 20 years ago, 50 years ago, I don't know where I would have been. Why I'm saying this is because people do get result, but they're not using the right system, and nobody's mistake again. We never been taught about it. Yeah. So let's move on, and let's go to the next one. And if you have any questions, please do type the questions as I'm seeing the chat box. And if you have any comments, you can also make in the chat comments in the chat box as well. But make sure, please select all panelists and attendees. Otherwise, only panelists will see the questions, and your share will not go to the larger audience. So when you're chatting, so when you say two there, select all panelists and attendees. Make sure that, yeah. Ranjana, Anita, so please do share it, change it to all the attendees as well, so everybody knows your comments as well. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on. And this is one quote which I would like to start. The mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work unless it's open. And why I make this statement is because we all come with a lot of baggage from baggage in the sense, there is nothing negative connotation about baggage. Baggage is like your previous existing knowledge. Now, some may be right, some may be wrong. I don't know what is right, what is wrong, which you have gathered. But then what all I want you to do is just be open and listen to it. Just receive. And if you don't like, if you don't feel useful, just throw them in the dustbin. But just be open to receive it. Now, why I'm saying this again is because, we always have this, okay, this is how memory works. We have been taught that way. But then just listen, probably we'll find a new way, right? Okay, let's move on, and let's get started. This is one quote which I always love. Every next level of your life will demand a new version of yourself. If you want to scale your memory or focus up to the next level, of course, you need to have a different version of yourself as well. For that, there are a couple of things which are required to create a different version of yourself. And if you agree to this statement, would you put A or agree in the chat box? So I know that we are on the same plane. Do you agree to this? Every next level of your life will demand a new version of yourself. You can either type A or agree in the chat box, so I know that you actually relate to what I'm saying. Thank you, Manju, Prakash, Roy, Nilu. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, Pawan, thanks. So let's move on and look at those things which are very much required. The first one is, thanks, Praveen, Tej, Ranjana, thank you very much. So the next one which you want to see is your perceptions. how you look at the things, that is going to make a lot of difference. I'm sure there are some people who are above 40. If you're above 40, can you just put me in the chat box? Okay, just to start with, I am above 40. I'm 42. Okay, so there's nothing wrong being above 40. All right. So if you're above 40, can you just put me in the chat box so I know that how many of you are above 40? Okay, a lot of people here. Great. Okay. Wow, somebody 78. Wow. 59. Super. Okay. Now, have you ever heard people saying after you reach the age of 40 or 50, people hear different kinds of things. They say that your memory goes down as you improve your as your age increases, your memory goes down. Have you heard about that? I'm sure most of you heard about that. Now, let me tell you. Let me ask you one question. I'm a great fan of Jim Rohn. So Jim Rohn always asks a simple question. It's a very classic way of asking. He asks the question, who sold you this idea? With age, memory goes down. Who sold you that idea? Where did you buy it from? What is the basis of that? No basis. Because we have always had what do you call evidences or jokes on absent-minded professor, forgetful grandmother, grandfather who has pecks on the head and they were searching the whole house, absent-minded professor who forgot to breathe, this kind of funny stuff on the older people. And then this all goes in circulation and people think, oh, that means if one once get old, they get into all this kind of forgetting and stuff. Now, let me tell you how it works, how the perceptions make a magic there. So a lot of people, they believe that as my age grows, my memory goes down. And because, let's say I believe that, example, I don't believe it, but let's say, for example, if I believe that as my age goes higher, my memory goes down. If I actually believe that, what happens, the next followed? I don't try. Now, why don't try? Because I believe that I cannot remember. I don't try. And because I don't try, I don't remember. And because I don't remember, I'll come back and tell everybody, including myself, hey, you know what? Because my age is going higher, I'm not able to remember. They will never come up and say, I am not able to remember because I never tried. They'll always say, I am not able to remember because my age doesn't permit. Probably they themselves do not know it, but then this is how it is happening. So if you can relate to what I'm saying, can you just put R in the chat box so I know that we are on the same plane and you're able to relate to that. The perceptions make a lot of impact. So the first thing you got to change is the way you look at things must change. So far, if you can relate to what I'm saying, can you just put a R, letter R, so that I know that you're able to relate to what I'm saying? Thank you, Prakash, Praveen. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's move on and talk about the second one. The second one is basically the way you take action. That has to change. And a lot of people don't take action for a strange reason, and that strange reason is yeah, maybe stress, but then there's another reason as well, and that is people think that if you want to take an action, different action, it probably will be difficult. Different can also mean easy. All right. Okay, super. Thanks, Ritu. Thank you, Ritu, for that. Okay, let's move on. And one is take action. So that's the one thing which you have to do is you have to take some action also. So let's get started with the basics. All right, the basics, very, very simple basics. And we starting with the basics is always a better idea. Okay, just scared. Yeah, Pravinji, that's right. So a lot of people don't take action because they're scared to take an action. Perfect. So let's get into basics. And here we go. And let's talk about something which I call as memory stealers. So memory stealers are those little things which steal your memory. And you don't have to do anything about this. You just have to be aware of this. The moment you are aware, you'll make sure that the stealing doesn't happen and your memory will be much better than whatever it is. There are some smart people who put up a board on the gate, beware of dog. There may not be any dog inside. Or there are some people who put up a dummy camera on the front door. Just because there's a camera, people will not steal and break in. Just because they see a beware of dog, people will not try to get into or cross the fence. So just that awareness should be there even for us. So the moment you know what are those little things which are stealing away your memory, your awareness itself will stop them. A lot of times, lack of awareness, this is what the memory, those little things will steal away your memory. So very quickly, let's see those stealers. And here we go. The first one. I just want to ask you one question. Do you forget? If you forget things, can you just put me in the chat box so I know that you forget things? Okay. Nilu, thank you. Praveen, thank you. Who else? Okay, Praveen. Yes, PK Sharma, Dr. Prakash. Okay, Nilu forgets names. Okay, so you forget. And the rest of the people who did not respond, did you forget my question? Okay. All right, cool. So people do forget. Now, when I ask people, yeah, sometimes, great. Okay, when I ask people, how do you know that you forget? They have a lot of examples. Like, you know what? Oh, I forgot to link my Aadhaar card and, PAN card. I forgot to make that payment. I forgot to pick up my dry cleaning. I forgot to, call somebody. I forgot to show up in the webinar. A lot of things people say, oh, these are a lot of examples which people have. And because of all these examples, they come up and say, hey, you see, I forget. I really forget. Now, I want to ask you one thing, and that is, have you ever sat down and, okay, repeat the question. Tej, I was asking, do you forget? Do you forget? Yeah, and webinar time. Okay, so that's fine. So now people have a lot of, yeah, Tej, thank you for that. So people have a lot of examples. Putting alarms is a very, very interesting thing. Why you put an alarm, that will, okay, we'll talk about that in a while, So that's a very interesting thing, that you put an alarm to help yourself to remember. Now, one question I just want to leave you with, that question is that alarm helping you to enhance your memory, or is it further messing up your memory? We'll talk about that in a while. Yeah, we'll talk about that. So people have a lot of examples. You write down, Sagarika. Thank you so much. We will talk about writing also. Okay, so the examples are, there are many examples. The one question I want to ask you is, did you ever sat down and look for examples and evidences where your memory was actually working rather than not working? All the time, people always say, oh, I forgot this, I forgot that, I forgot this, oh, I also forgot that. But did you ever say, oh, I remember this, I also remember this, oh, I remember this as well? Now, when people remember something, they don't talk about it. When people forget, that's where they come up and say, oh, you know what, this is what's happening. And there's an interesting statement which I read in one of the recent articles I was reading, and that was scary. And what the article says is, you can actually induce depression in a people's life in just laboratory. In a laboratory, you can actually induce depression. And how to do that? Very simple. So ask the person to sit quietly somewhere and ask him or her to write down what all he don't have in life for 30 minutes. So he will start writing, okay, I don't have a Benz car, I don't have 3-ton AC in my house, I don't have electronic security gate, I don't have washing machine, whatever. They will write down all the things. And you know what, if you can write down things for half an hour, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this, then in that half an hour you'll start depressing. And what this guy furthermore says is, if you do that exercise for 3 days continuously, you will probably need a treatment to get out of depression. Wow. And this is exactly what is happening with people in terms of memory. They always come up and say, I forget this, I forget that, I forget this, I forgot that. And they're thinking that, oh, where are we heading? So you always remember a lot of stuff, but you're taking examples of what you forget. So let's move forward and we'll talk about some strategies on which will help you. So let's get going. Now, one thing is, disbelief is killing people's memory. If you don't believe your memory, you cannot scale up, right? Because that's the first one. This, and always look for, to kill that, look for evidences which are helping you, not the evidences which are harming you. Okay. If you ever properly remember to go to a shop and get bread and went back home, your memory is up and running, fantastic, no problem at all. You know why? because you remembered that you have to go to the shop, you actually went to the shop, you remembered the entire route, you remember to ask for bread, you remember to give money, you remember to collect the balance, you remember to walk back to your own home. Amazing feat of memory, but people don't talk about that ever. So start collecting evidences where your memory is working. You'll already feel better and your memory starts working in a better fashion. Okay. So that's one thing. And second thing which I want to share is there are a lot of people who have these hobbies like, wildlife photography, where people have to wait for 6 hours, 8 hours to take a picture. And there's some people who do fishing. Again, the same thing, 2 hours waiting for fish to show up. And I don't have that kind of patience in life. I don't know how many of you actually have that kind of patience, but I really salute to people who got that kind of patience to wait for 2 3 hours to just take one shot. And I was just thinking why these people have that kind of patience and why don't I have in that. It's not that I don't have patience at all. I don't have patience for that. Now, if I want to make a PowerPoint, I can have patience. If I'm talking to people, I have patience. But then I don't have patience for fishing and wildlife photography. The simple reason is I am not interested. If you have interest, somehow things will start falling in place. And if your memory want to work, you have to actually make sure that you should be interested in something. And disinterest is one thing which actually kills your memory again. One is disbelief, the second one is disinterest. And let's look at the third one. This is very interesting. I just want to ask you one simple question and you can answer in your chat box, and that is, how many of you here in the webinar right away who are right now here actually remember more than 5 telephone numbers other than your own house family members? If you can remember, you can put yes. If you cannot remember, put no. No problem. How many of you remember more than 5 telephone numbers other than your house numbers? There's some people remember, a lot of people don't remember. Actually, this is the sad state. And if you remember the olden days, we used to have something called a PP phone. I'm sure most of you actually know what's a PP phone, right? So PP phone, they remember those numbers. People remember office numbers. People remember house numbers, and it was all in memory. Now they don't have it simply because the reason is because of this. We don't use our memory as much as we should be using. All right, so disuse is one thing, and I've seen people using calculator for small things. 27 times 3, they pick up a calculator and use it. They don't get an idea that they can actually do it with pen and paper. The mind skills have not been put to test, or we're not even using it for smaller things. Now the simple question is, if you're not willing to use it for small things, where is the energy for doing bigger things? All right, so let's move on. And the last one I want to talk about in the three memory stealers is called disuse. Now disuse is something which is killing the memory once again. So very quickly, disbelief, disinterest, and disuse. And if you want to take your memory to the next level, just make sure that you kick them out of your system. Now every time you ever had a memory lapse, either your disbelief or disinterest or disuse or a combination of these things is playing a role in your forgetfulness or in your memory lapse of memory. All right, so the first thing which you have to do is kill them. And for killing them, you don't have to do any hard work. Just by being aware that these are the things that are taking away your memory, you will be in a better off situation. So these are the 3Ds. So is it clear? So if it is clear, or if you're learning, can you just put L or learning in the chat box, so I know that it is making sense and I'm able to communicate. You can just put L, or you can put learning, so that I know that you're learning. And if you have a question, of course, you can type in the question as well. All right, thank you so much. So let's move and talk about one big mistakes which people do. And what is a big mistake is that people assume somehow that memory is automatic. Now, let me tell you, nothing is automatic. There are a lot of people who come up and say, hey, you know what? I listen, I understand, but I still cannot remember. And we have somebody saying that, I write down, I still can't remember. All right. So why is this happening? Is because memory is not automatic. Just because you're listening to something, you're understanding, or you are writing down, that will not qualify you to actually remember, because it's not automatic. You have to do something else, and that something else is called intention. Memory works, it has to kickstart with intention. Now, if you have intention, then you actually taken a decision. Now, very simple question. So I've seen a lot of people sharing that you have a problem in remembering names of people, right? And maybe you had a problem in remembering what you learned in a webinar, maybe you had sometimes problem in what you read. So I'm sure you might have experienced it sometimes at least. Now, my question to all of you here is, how many times did you actually tell yourself before you meet somebody, I want to remember this person's name? Before you enter into a webinar or a classroom, I want to remember what my teacher is going to talk about. Or before you open a book, I want to learn what is in the book. Have you consciously told that? A lot of people just open the book, read, just walk into the webinar, listen, and they meet the people very casually and say, hey, nice meeting you. But they don't make a conscious intention. If you have not made a conscious intention, that means you have not decided. When you have not decided, your memory will not work because you have not taken a decision in the first place. If you don't decide, how will it work? Now, coming back to people who said that, okay, I write down. Is writing down good or bad? If you are looking solely from the purpose of memory, writing down is disastrous. I mean, first, don't make any conclusions yet because I've not completely said it all. So if you're solely looking from the perspective of memory, then it is disastrous. We'll talk about the other thing later on, but let me ask you one simple question. How many of you here, actually, if you want to go to a shop and get 5 things on the market, I'm not talking about the fancy shopping. Maybe let's say you're going for a tour and you want to get some things for it, or maybe you want to make a recipe and you got 5 7 things which you have to get from the market. So if you want to get 5 to 10 things in the market, how many of you actually write it down on a sheet of paper, or enter it on the phone book and go and get it from the shop? How many of you actually write it down? The 10 things which you have to get from the market, you will write it down. Okay, Vijay, Neelu, Praveen. Okay, a lot of people do. All right, super. Not always, sometimes. Okay, you write it down. Great. Now, a very simple question. I assume, I mean, if I'm wrong, you can actually put it otherwise in the chat box, but I assume probably you write because you wanted to help your memory. I assume that. All right. Okay, there's no negation there. So I safely assume that those of you writing, you want to write because you want to help your memory. But let me tell you something. Yeah, okay, you note it down in a diary. Okay, good. Fine. So the thing is, here is a question for you. If you're not, oh, this is interesting, to avoid extra shopping. Okay, this is good. Rita, that's nice. So if you don't write, you go by emotions. Oh, I like this. Oh, this is on sale. Let me buy this. So if you write it down, you stick to it. Okay, that's a good option, good idea. Okay, so but if you're writing for remembering, let me tell you one thing. The purpose is not served. Okay, you may actually get the thing. And here's a question for you. If you're not willing to or not able to remember 5 things you want to get from the market, how will you think that the brain is going to remember anything else in life? 5 things, if I am not willing to or not able to remember, I cannot use it for anything else. So when you write down with an intention of helping your memory, it is not actually helping your memory, it is harming your memory, because you're writing out of fear. Oh, if I don't write, I can't remember. And then for remembering what you're doing nothing. It's not an exercise for your memory. It's an exercise for your fingers and pen. You're writing, it's a physical exercise, it's not a mental exercise. For memory to work on, you have to work on here, not here. So that's one simple reason why, for exclusively if you're looking for memory, then it is not a good idea, because shopping is a monotonous thing. We write, okay, great. Okay, so let's move on and let me share some ideas. So we talked about the intention. Yeah, emotions always happen, Praveen. That's one more reason as well. So when you have intention, you take action, you get a result. So intention is a starting thing. And let me also quickly share what drives your memory. There are a couple of things which drive your memory very quickly, I would like to share. And they are, one is necessity and one is interest. You should either have necessity or you should have interest for the memory to work. At least one. If you're both, fantastic. If you have neither, then God bless you. Just imagine this, every time you want to remember something, if you're interested, somehow you will raise to the occasion and to remember that. And if something is necessary, of course, you will remember also. But if it is not there, then it will not work. So your memory is actually driven by necessity or interest. So I just want to share one interesting example. It's about 3 weeks back. There's one of my friend from Bangalore called me, and he's a very orthodox kind of a person, very traditional person. So then he said, Anant, I've got something I want to ask if you can help me out. I said, yeah, tell me please. He said, I have been you know interacting with the Bhagavad Gita, because they have Bhagavad Gita in the house. So I have been reading Bhagavad Gita for last 30-35 years. We have it in our prayer room, and we always pick up one thing and daily read something out of it, and I don't remember it. I feel so bad that 35 years I've been dealing with that and I don't remember. So then I asked this guy, hey, tell me something. How important do you think that is for you to remember? You know what he said? Nothing important. It'll be good if I can remember. So it is not necessity for him. It is just a fancy. Neither he has got any interest also. He's just got an idea, grand idea. The intention is not there. It's just a desire. So desires people can have. I have a desire to become, maybe president of America. I have a desire. Do I have an intent? Maybe not. I don't have an intent. Maybe I'm not even qualified. But having a desire is something totally different. You should have an intent. Then only things will work. And if you're missing out on something, if you're not able to remember something, don't start into blaming yourself or blaming your memory. Oh, I cannot do that. My memory is not working. Don't get there yet. Ask yourself, do you even have interest in that? Do you think it is necessary for you? If you think it is not necessary, of course your memory will not work. Now, why there's a interesting thing I would like to explain. So I'm sure most of you have got from high school into the college and into wherever you are in your life right now. I still remember, I hope there are no school kids here, but even if they're there, it's a fact, so we can still talk about that. All right, so I still remember the days where I was taught photosynthesis, life cycle of frog. Photosynthesis, what's photosynthesis? I mean, how do plants make their food? How am I bothered? I know how to make poha, I know how to make Maggie, I can make upma. How the plant make food, how I am bothered? Now Akbar waged a war on some country in 1673. How I am bothered in 2021? So these were the questions which were there in my head. All right. How is that useful in my life? So I'm blocking that necessity. There's no necessity for me to remember to know what is photosynthesis. But then I'm reading it. And I say, hey, you know what? This is very difficult for me because I was never feeling the necessity of it. One part of my mind is already shut down, saying that this is not useful for me in my life. But still, I am working on that. So when you sit down and see why I'm not able to remember, maybe because that, I never felt that it is necessary for me. Yeah, intention is very, very important. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's move on. So intention and necessity. These are the two things which you have to check for, and these are the things which will drive your memory. So I call them memory drivers. So again, one question I want to ask, do you forget? So I borrow from the same answer. You have been, you said that, yeah, some people forget, maybe some people forget sometimes, maybe some people forget the names. So I want to tell you something. You have a fantastic memory, whether you want to believe it or not. I can prove it to you. So try to forget something which you already know. Not possible. It's just not possible to forget something consciously. But still you might come up and say, hey, no, you don't know what I'm talking about. My mind goes blank. I'm in an examination hall, I could not remember. I was in a Rotary meeting, but I couldn't get that person's name. I know him for last 7 years, but that moment I could not recall the name. All this kind of thing. Yeah, I do understand, but let me tell you, that is not forgetting. That is something else which is dubbed as forgetting. That is not forgetting. Now let me tell you this. Did it ever happen to you that you thought you forget somebody's name, or you thought you forget an answer in the examination hall, but half an hour later when you get out of the examination hall, maybe 2 days later, when after forgetting somebody's name, the name would pop out, the answers would pop out in the head, which you forgot, which you thought you forgot will pop up in the head. I'm sure that happened to you. All right. Now if that has happened, that's a clear proof that you have not forgotten. You simply failed to recall. That's it. You failed to recall. You do not forget anything. You actually failed to recall. Now, fail to recall, that is the problem. Forgetting is not the problem. And why do people fail to recall? Is because they never tried recalling. So let me give an example here. Okay. So now a lot of times this is what happens. I mean, because of the way in which I cannot explain this in a 2D image, I've just selected this picture. So people are talking, but the mind is somewhere else. So because I can't show how the mind is somewhere else, I've just put this image. So if somebody is in this kind of a situation, they'll always think that once they get out of the situation, they'll say, hey, this guy was talking something I don't remember. Now, is it that you really don't remember? Or is it that you are never there in the first place? Maybe I was thinking about, oh, when is the COVID going to completely go? When my school is going to start? Or I may be thinking, oh, why this Amazon guy has not shown up yet? Or I may be thinking something else. But then the conversation is going on. And later on, I think that, hey, you know what? I don't remember anything from that conversation. That's not true. It's not that I don't remember. It's just that I'm not there. Okay, so this is another thing which I want to share on clarity. And so this is one thing I want to very quickly share. And then if time permits, we'll also give you some tips on focus also. Any failure is a memory. Any failure of memory is a failure of recall. And you know what happens? People actually fail to recall. It's not a memory problem. And why people fail to recall is simply because they never practiced recall consciously. One quick question for you. In the last 2, 3, 6 months, have you done anything which will consciously qualify as recall practice? For most people, the answer is no. And there's a very good saying. It says that if when you do nothing, you get nothing. So if you don't practice recall, you don't get recall. And you don't get recall, it's a recall problem, not a memory problem. Memory cannot have a problem. Memory is a process. There's no problem in the process. Recall is the problem. Now, recall is a problem because we never practicing recall. Now, if you just see something I want to share, very interesting, and that is, let's say you're in school or college, or I'm sure you might have gone through this experience when you're in school or college. Let's say I don't know Pythagoras theorem, I'm not able to get it. So I go to my senior or my elder brother or my mom, dad, and say, hey, you know what? I'm not able to get Pythagoras theorem. What should I do? I'm not able to learn the Newton's laws of motion. What should I do? And we get an advice, something like, beta isko 4 baar pad lena. Read it 4 times. Read it 5 times. Now the idea comes from this. When I read something 5 times, I put it in, it will get cemented. All right. It becomes stronger in head. So have you ever heard that kind of statement? Read it 5 times, you will remember it. 4 baar pad lena, आपको आ जाएगा. If you have heard, can you just put me in the chat box? Yeah, recall is most important. Exactly, Vijay. Okay. So now let me share. How do you practice recall? Recalling practice is very important. So there are few ways of practicing recall. So one is called instant recall. Now, what is instant recall? Is very simple. Instant recall is try to recall any information you get inside your head immediately. Immediately recall it out. Let's say you're talking to a client and your client asks you some question or he's sharing something. So simply come back and share that. Like, I was just now saying, okay, Mr. Vijay, recall is very important. Exactly right. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm trying to do an instant recall of what has been shared. That's all about instant recall. And how you guys can use instant recall? Very simple. Let's say, I'm sure most of you watch TV. When you're watching TV, you get a lot of ads. So instead of, cursing the channel for the ads, just close your eyes and think, oh, let me recollect the ads. There you're doing a practice of recall. You're doing a practice. Now, let's say you go to Haldiram and you have a meal, right? Just try to recollect, okay, what was the order in which the food was served? Or let's say you're watching Netflix. After the thing is over, then you try to recollect, okay, what was the plot? Now, by this, what you're doing is, yeah, you just go back to the moment and try to recollect. Here, by doing this, there are few things happening. One is you are forcing your mind to pay attention. Because when you want to recall and you're not able to recall, you suddenly become aware that, hey, I didn't even focus here. So you'll bring back the mind from wherever it is. So you can also do some kind of fun recall. So I call it as random recall or fun recall. Now, what is random recall all about? Random recall is, when you're having your evening cup of coffee, sit down and think, oh, let me recollect my batchmates when I was in graduation. You may not recall everybody, it's okay, but just try to recall. It's a very good exercise. People don't do a recall activity at all. When you do your recall, your memory starts working, because the failure of memory is actually failure of recall. When you practice recall, your memory will be back again. It's never bad. It's just that the recall has never been trained. So you can do a random recall like, okay, when I was posted in Jaipur, who were my neighbors? Try to recollect that. Or let me recollect my English teachers names. How many Kishore Kumar movies can I names of Kishore Kumar movies can I recall? Just do that when you're having your cup of coffee. Just recall that. Now that will give you a solid exercise for the mind. So that's about the instant recall which you can work on. So far, any questions? Is it making sense? Yeah, recall, recall, recall. Exactly. Recall is the Maha Mantra, you can say. If you can just practice recall, your memory will be so good, your attention will be better, your awareness will be better. Because you want to recall, you have to be aware. Now you said something, I want to recall that, I have to be aware. I cannot be thinking about my Amazon delivery, right? I have to be here. So that will also train me to be in the present moment, and that's an access for your training where you can pull the mind to the current situation. The power of now people talk about, and when you do instant recall, you are activating the power of now. Okay, so far, is it making sense? If it is making sense, can you just put MS in the chat box so I know that it's making sense for you? Okay, great. So let me share some very quick ideas. Okay, super. Thank you so much. Let me share some quick ideas on focus also. Let me pull the screen up. I just want to give you some very quick ideas on focus. All right, cool. So on focus, so let me very quickly talk about some easy ways in which you can work on your focus, some strategies. Focus shifts everything. When your focus is good, it will shift everything in your life. Whether you're mixing coffee, whether performing surgery, driving your car, whatever you're doing in life, if you can add a bit of focus, your memory will be, your results will be in a next level. All right. So this is something which I've seen. Follow one course until successful. I have not created this, but I've seen this on Facebook and I loved it. Superb. It cannot get simpler than this. Follow one course until successful. It's the best acronym I've seen for focus, and that's the best message as well. When you do one thing at a time, you stay focused. And that was the reason I'm asking, when you're here, be completely here, switch off your apps, switch off your, all other, applications as well. So, I just want to make you aware of something. When people always say, hey, you know what, I'm not able to focus, then I ask them, what do you think impacts your focus? Impact as an effect. It can be positive, negative, it doesn't matter. The first thing people say is distractions. I lost my focus because of distractions. And they will try to work on distractions. But it doesn't work all the time, because distractions is just one part. There are a lot of other things which will impact your focus. So just to give you some ideas, these are again some ideas, is not complete. These are just some ideas, some other things which will impact your focus, your work habits. How are you working? So are you leaning down when you're listening? Or are you having coffee when you're having a webinar? Everything, whatever you do, it's actually in your work, it is actually making impact on the focus as well. Yeah, recall, intention, focus. Okay, super. And then the second one is the emotional state. What is your current emotional state? Are you feeling sad? Are you depressed? That is going to impact your focus. I was attending one of the meetings where it's our weekly meeting on Wednesdays, or I was having one meeting, and out of the 25 people who are there, 8 people have lost somebody in their family, and probably another 5-6 people have lost somebody close to them. And that was a very, very low energy meeting, and nobody was able to focus. Why? Because of the emotional state. The state was very low. So it's not just the distractions, it's about the emotional state also makes an impact. It is your goals. Do you have goals? You don't have goals? If you have goals, or you have goals, your focus is better. If you don't have goals, your focus is not there. Your physical comfort, your health, your mental attitudes, or you're generally accommodating, or you're generally complaining. And let's say I'm generally complaining, example. So I'll be looking at something, I'll be putting all my mental energy on what to complain on. So I'll not be able to focus on what's happening. If I'm accommodating, it's like, it's good. If I'm happy, I tend to focus better. If I'm sad, generally that's my mental attitude, then it doesn't work as well. Your environment, your willpower is like your battery for focus. So your mental awareness, how aware are you, that's also going to give a lot of impact. And your sleep, and these are just some of the things, let me tell you. So in one thing you do, everything you don't do is going to make an impact on your focus. So let me quickly give you some ideas which I call as so this is one thing I want to share. Your distractions need approval. Without you approving, you will not have a distraction. So let's say, for example, as I'm talking to you, I could listen my neighbor's house, there's some, they're doing some repair, they're doing some sawing of carpenter work. I'm able to listen to them. But if I only approve them, then that will become a distraction for me. Otherwise, I'm here. So distractions need your approval. I just want to share one thought, and this is very, very powerful, which is very, I want you to remember this. Every thought is an expense. Whatever you're thinking, it's an expense. It can be like, I want to have a burger for dinner, or it can be, I want to buy a property in New Jersey. It doesn't matter. Everything is an expense. Now, when I say it's an expense, what goes out is your space, mental space, energy, emotion, time, attention, and all these things go out. So probably we have another 2 minutes. I just want to share some quick idea, which is called as build your DAD, which is like defense against distraction. So few things like defense against distraction. And for that, you have to stop playing the blame game, but use BLAME as an acronym. So some quick ideas on how you can actually do. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Listening carefully is one good way of enhancing focus, not just hearing. Super. Thank you for that. Okay. B stands for break time. Now, what's meant by break time is like give a short breaks. You are not an energizer bunny, right? You're not energizer. You will not have, just because you need to get a job done, you cannot be saying that, okay, let me work on this for 2 hours. Not possible. It is like, I'm sure you might have seen a sugarcane machine where the sugarcane goes inside and they do so much of squeezing, even you don't find a house flies going on that. Everything sucked out, right? So when you do a long stretches of work with the mind, you will not be able to focus and you will be actually mentally drained all the time. So what you do is work for half an hour, give a small break, work for half an hour, give a small break, work for half an hour, give a small break, mentally, mind work. So that way is what happens is you don't get tired, your focus will be intact, and you don't get into that low where like, you're squeezed like a sugar cane. All right. So break time. B stands for break time. L stands for limit attention. Limit your attention. Make sure that there are things not cluttered in front of you. Let's say as I'm talking to you, if I see a sanitizer bottle right in front of me, I'll get an idea. Oh, let me order sanitizer from Amazon. But if I don't see it, I don't get the thought. So when you're working on something, make sure visual distractions should be very, very less. And if you're a student, maybe you can face the wall rather than having some timetable or quotes or some posters in your room. If you can just minimize the limit attention, that's one thing which you can do. BL. A is active disengagement. What is active disengagement? Is all about working on deleting your audio cues. Now, normally what has happened in life is like, we have been given the gift of listening as a skill or tool for living when we are, old Stone Age, 50,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago. When you're walking in the jungle, you listen something, you have to act. You have to not act, you have to actually react. Because if some sound happens, it's either a threat or an opportunity. Because it can be a tiger where you got to run away immediately, you have to react to that. Or it can be a deer or a rabbit. Again, you have to run because you have to catch your food. So there you got to react whenever you find a sound. But that is not required now. We don't have such kind of a requirement of survival for hearing. Now, what happens because of that? What is happening is we are still living from there. Have you seen in a classroom when you're in a meeting or whatever thing, when somebody behind you, there's a, everybody will turn and look around and see what's happening there. Why? Because it's very important. They actually see that, think that it's very important to know. It's not important to know. So for 5 minutes a day, practice disengagement. Now, anything happening around you, just say, okay, I'm listening, but I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'm listening, but I'm not going to turn my head. Yes, there's a washing machine sound going on. I'm not going to turn my head there. Just act deaf for 5 minutes. Now, what happens is this will give you the power back to you to decide whether you want to acknowledge the distraction or not. I said that everything needs an approval. By stopping for 5 minutes on a daily basis, you get your approval system back. It's no more automatically approved. So BLA. And M stands for mindfulness. Mindfulness is a very big topic, so I want to just simplify it, super simplify it for you. And that is, okay, this is an example which I've seen. It's a very beautiful picture which I've seen in internet, so I just shared this. Now what I have is this: enjoy your coffee mindfully. Now what I mean this by this, every day pick up your coffee or do something like that, a small act. It is called a micro practice. I call it as a micro practice, micro mindfulness practice. So sit with your coffee and think this way: hey, my sole purpose of my birth is to enjoy this cup of coffee. Let the world go to hell, me and my coffee. That's it. Your mind will start running away, just with a lot of love and care, and gracefully bring it back and say, oh no, I'm not going to think about Amazon. I want to enjoy my coffee. I'm not going to think about the third wave. I'm going to enjoy my coffee. Just bring it back, bring it back. Now that will give you a lot of power to come back, and a lot of patience as well. BLA, M done. E is eliminate distractions. Now what I mean by eliminate distractions is eliminate obvious distractions. If you know that you get distracted by Facebook message, if you know that you're distracted by cold air, you actually make get rid of them before you do some serious work. And especially for this, what I can recommend you is sit down, maybe after this webinar, whenever time you get a time, sit down for 5 minutes and think about what distracts me. Write the answers for that, because it will not be same for everybody. For some people, somebody walking around may be distraction. For some people, it doesn't matter at all. For some people, internet ping comes in is a distraction. For me, coffee smell is a distraction. All right, so where there's coffee smell, I like, wow, my mind will flow there. So in my house, very clear instructions. When I'm on my webinar, when I'm taking a class, nobody makes a coffee. And if they make a coffee, they'll bring it to my table. Also, my coffee comes here, because I made it sure that I get distracted. So I made all my arrangements. So eliminate obvious distractions. So BLAME, very quickly again. B stands for break time, L stands for limit attention, A for active disengagement, M for mindfulness, and E for eliminate distractions. So that's about the presentation. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer. And of course, let me also give you my Facebook. I have got my YouTube channel. There's about 1 hour plus of videos there, small videos, micro videos, as I call them. They're there. You can actually enjoy them. You can subscribe. You can share also. I'm just putting it in the chat box. Okay, 1 second. So let me just put it. And I'll be happy to connect with you. So any questions if you have?
I'd like to ask one question.
Yes, Ranjanaji, go ahead.
My father was alive till the age of 90. And in his childhood, whatever he learned, I tell you, he used to continuously recite all those poems. I am Bengali, so Tagore's poem was, that time no TV, nothing was there. So he could narrate everything. He could continuously for 13, 14 pages. He
Right.
used to remember. But currently, whatever has happened, he was not able to answer all those things.
Okay, I'll tell you.
I find in this age also, previously, whatever I learned, I remember all those things absolutely without any fail. But recent things, sometimes I forget. But I try to, I am in touch with it. That is why. But my father's, what was wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong. There's never nothing wrong, actually. We're just not getting a result. It's nothing wrong about it. Let me tell you, your dad definitely felt Rabindranath Tagore's poetry is more important than what I ate for breakfast. Simple. It's an emotional attachment. That's one thing. Second thing is that time there were no distractions. I remember my younger days where we have only one option. Like, Krishi Darshan used to come up. You want to watch how to rear pigs or not? You want to watch, you don't want to watch. Okay, I watch. I used to watch rearing pigs also. I've watched that, and I'm sure many of you have watched as well. There's no other option. Because of that, what happens is our mind is just focused on something. Now you want to watch a movie, it's a pain, let me tell you. DDLJ bhi chal raha hai. That is also
diversions are there. Diversions are
too many
there.
diversions. And the next thing is our mind is so much stressed out in a lot of things. So you don't have the bandwidth. You have a mental energy. Like that's why I said every thought is an expense. You are thinking about COVID. You are thinking about the kids. You are thinking about Australia. You're thinking about politics. You're thinking about whatnot. So you have no bandwidth to think about what is happening right in front of you. And I'm sure this is also happening with a lot of people. A lot of people I've seen watching TV and eating. The mood of the TV decides how you eat. Let's say you're a boxing fan, you and you're watching something which is like somebody died, your favorite star. You're like, you don't feel like eating. And the most amazing part? People don't know whether there's less salt, more mirch. They don't even know. No bandwidth. इतना emotionally घुस गए ना उसमें कि उसको पता भी नहीं चल रहा क्या हो रहा है जिंदगी में. And पता ही नहीं चला तो कैसे याद होगा आपने क्या खाया? आपने देखा भी नहीं. You didn't even know what you're eating. You're actually watching TV. So these are the kind of things. So when you are there, so that's why I said it's not a mistake. It's just that it didn't work because we never intended. So did you ever feel sad that you did not able to ride a fighter plane? You never intended to. You never learned it. It's the same thing here. Vijay ji, yes sir. I hope you got answered, Ranjana ji. Okay, super. Yes sir, Vijay.
Sir, what I have learned from today's talk is the most important thing is emotion. If you are emotionally balanced, you can listen properly instead of hearing for the sake of hearing. Then comes the intentions, and then comes the necessity, and then you are into it.
Amazing, sir. So I'll just want to take one step ahead of that. And for that, you need to conserve your mental energy.
Yeah.
The most important thing is conserve mental energy. Physical energy, you can actually, it's there. You don't have to worry. And you don't have physical energy, hire somebody. No problem. But please conserve mental energy, and every thought is an expense. And when people get tired also, they get tired mentally first and physically later.
And only then you can recall.
Yeah, and I want to give a quick tip, and that is because a lot of people, seniors here, the more mental energy you save, that energy will be useful for you in body repair and keeping yourself sane as well.
Excellent, excellent.
It's not just about memory and focus. So when you talk about emotions, you should have a mental energy there to emote.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Please look at the mental energy as more expensive than currency. You lose money, no problem, but don't lose energy. Mental energy.
Thank you.
How do you conserve mental energy?
Don't think too much.
That is not possible.
What is Priyanka Gandhi's cat's name? How am I bothered? Okay. So, people are interested in every damn thing. See, what is useful? Yeah, let me tell you something interesting. I'm not asking you to do that, but I am doing it. I just say I'm a bit crazy, but I can tell you what I am doing. Last 23 years, I have not been watching TV, maybe 24 years now. And last 11 years, I have not been reading newspaper. 11 years. And I'm saving so much mental energy. You all have negativity, and complete negative. And I was in one of the groups, and I just mentioned in the chat group that this is about 3-4 weeks back. Oh, I'm not able to attend because I'm having sore throat. And this guy, somebody calls me up and says, "Hey, I hope you're okay." I said, "Yeah, I'm okay, sore throat." He said, "How is Vizag doing?" So Vizag, you have to be very careful. I said, "What happened in Vizag?" He says, "Vizag also there are so many cases." I said, "Okay. Thank you for sharing." I don't know what is happening. Now it works for me. I'm not saying it will work for everybody, and I have not died. So I'm happy. Actually, I'm more happy than most of the people because I'm not getting any negative inflow into my head. So that will eat away your, I mean, I'll tell you one simple example. You read some news that people selling CO2 cylinders, fire extinguishers as oxygen. You will want to go and kill them. You will want to do whatever thing. I'm not saying don't be concerned. I'm saying you can't do a thing about it. You can't do a thing about it. Then why think about it? The one thing you can do about is yourself. It is not being selfish. It is being extremely practical. The most important person on the planet is you. And you have heard this 100 times when you travel on air. Put your mask first, then only your mother, sister, father, brother, son, your minister. Only you first. So take care of yourself. And whenever you see news, you'll only feel little in your own eyes. Indonesia mein Jwalamukhi hai, 10,000 people displaced.
You can't do anything.
I cannot do anything about it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't know it. I'm just saying don't get intimidated. So don't give so much emotional value to everything which is not concerned right now for you. That's how you can save a lot of mental energy. I mean, that's my secret.
मेरी से secret यही है.
Sorry? Yeah. So any more question?
Yeah, in the process, most of the people forget the focus.
Exactly. That's the reason why if you have a mental energy there, then you can decide to focus on hobby. You can decide to focus on something. You can decide to focus to listen. But then there's no energy. You can't even decide. Even for deciding, you need energy, right? Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to ask you that I play lots of Sudoku. It is good for me or I should not play?
It is definitely good. Go ahead and play. Why not?
Very good.
Because I am very fond of Sudoku and whenever I get time,
Oh, मेरा
I
बंद है
start
माइक.
playing.
माइक था बहुत faded था.
Okay, so there's only one thing I want to tell you. Those who are in Sudoku and Rubik's Cube, please be aware of when people are calling you also. Somebody's calling you, hey, Mamta, hello. They're like, hello, Mamta. Then that doesn't work, okay? And that happens actually, right? So you give yourself time and do it. So
No, I am doing
मुझे
when
mute
I
कर
am
दीजिए.
when I am playing
No, just-
that then I am playing only. Nothing else. I am not doing anything else.
No,
But
sorry.
I am very fond of playing.
Perfect. Good. It's good.
आनंद जी, हम तो भूल जाते हैं कि कल किस सब्जी के साथ हमने खाना खाया है. आप तो बहुत बड़ी बात कर रहे हो याद रखने के लिए. हम तो ये भी भूल जाते हैं कि किस सब्जी के साथ सुबह खाना खाया, हमने रोटी खाई.
सर एक सेकंड. आपने कभी याद करने का डिसाइड किया?
Okay.
Did you ever decide? See,
No,
I'm
no.
telling you, having a dream is okay. Let me make some fun statement. Is it okay? I know it's online, but it's okay. So, so let's say I have a desire to, let's take some name, huh? Because I don't know names. I don't watch TV, so I'm not sure. Okay. Okay. I have a desire to marry Jennifer Lopez. Okay. I'm just trying to get the name. I don't even know the name, so I was just thinking which name to take out because I don't want to take Indian names because it's online. So I want to marry Jennifer Lopez. That's a desire. Am I intended? No.
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 No, I'm not intending to do that. It's just a desire. Oh, I want a desire to remember Bhagavad Gita. I have a desire to know मैंने क्या सब्जी खाया. कभी आपने बैठ के सोचा कि आज से मैं डिसाइड करूंगा कि मैं क्या खाया, मैं मुझे याद रखूंगा? No. At the end, you'll complain कि यार मुझे सब्जी याद ही नहीं होता. कब सोचा आपने याद रखने के लिए? And the same thing, the guy goes and asks me, 35 years I'm dealing with Bhagavad Gita, I don't remember. Decide किया क्या कभी? नहीं किया.
नहीं.
I also have a dream. Did I decide to marry Jennifer Lopez?
मेरा माइक
No.
भी ऑफ था.
So that is how it works. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope your question is answered.
Mr.
Rajesh.
Anant, I want to know कि when you are not watching TV for so many years and you are not reading any newspaper, then how do you know कि what is happening in the globe? What is happening in the world around you? How
Lot
do
of
you?
people like you reading and giving input. You waste your energy. Feed me. Good now. My friends told me that Vizag COVID is happening. My friends told me that पता है क्या दिल्ली में ना ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर बोल के CO2 बेच रहा है. ठीक है, अच्छा, पता चल गया ना. My friends told me Malaysian, and there's something happening interesting. Last time I think cricket World Cup tha. I was in metro and my friend called me. He asked me, where are you? I said, I'm in metro. You're not watching? I said, watching what? I said, final. He said, final? Final of cricket? I said, who is playing? He asked me, are you from Mars?
My goodness. Men are from Mars. Men are from Mars. If it had been a woman in place of you, naturally she would have known everything.
I keep my mental energy, and I am very happy to tell you that if I don't know something, I don't know. I'm not shy about it. I was assuming this is a very fun example. I think with that I'll close it. So I was in a school and I overheard a conversation that Urta Punjab acha hai. That was the first input in my life. Urta Punjab acha hai. मैं पहले बार सुना था, but that's a passing conversation. I said, okay, that's the first input. Then the next Sunday, I called my friend and asked him, क्या चल रहा है? What's the plan? What's up? He said, हम लोग ना KFC जाने के लिए प्लान किया था, फिर रास्ते में प्लान बदल गया, उड़ता पंजाब गया, बहुत बढ़िया है. अच्छा, KFC जाना था, प्लान चेंज कर दिया, उड़ता पंजाब गया. That's the second information which I got. And the next day was a weekend, so I called my sister-in-law in Singapore and asked her, क्या चल रहा है? What's happening? What's new? So she said, we went to Urta Punjab. And I said, वहाँ भी? And she knew that because I was living in Malaysia and Singapore, I've been many times. Any movie happens here, the first day also happens there also, especially the Hindi ones. So, and she thought something fishy. She asked, Anant, what is Urta Punjab? I said, it must be a restaurant, Pind Baluchi, Urta Punjab, वही होगा कुछ. And she was laughing like
must be having Punjabi cuisine.
She was like laughing for 20 minutes. She said, you don't know what's Urta Punjab? I said, I don't know. Now you tell me now what is it? She said, it's a movie hai wo. Acha, theek hai. It's okay. I mean, I don't have to know everything in life, but I know what I need. Good enough for me to survive. I don't need to know my friend went to Spain, what pizza they ate. I don't need to know that. I don't go and check my friend's Facebook at Spain holiday mein kya kar raha hai banda. मुझे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. I don't know what is the pet's name of Priyanka Chopra. I just don't care. But what is for me, I know. So that's not being selfish. That's being practical. That's being wise on using your mental skills. That's most important. That's how I look at it.
Anand, one thing I'd like to tell you, just now you were talking about memory. I think that sequential memory also helps us to remember things.
Yeah, it'll help. Yeah, chronology will always help you. So that will help you to connect in a easier manner.
In psychology, we have read it. Sequential memory also helps us to remember things.
Absolutely.
So I know, Anandji and all ladies and gentlemen present here, I know it is a very, very interesting discussion which is going on. And this is actually a never-ending topic. And the kind of inputs that Anandji is giving us is making us just go into the thing. And I don't think we would want to end it for the next hour or so. But I know tomorrow you all are going to miss your dinner time. So unfortunately, I will have to give a cap on it as such. So Anandji, if you would like to just conclude with something.
I just say, okay, enjoy your memory and don't waste your mental energy, conserve your mental energy and have intent, stay focused. That's it. Focus on what works, focus on what is important, focus on what makes you happy. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Very,
Thank
very
you so
true.
much.
And I was
Thank you.
Thank you, Anand.
Thank
Really enjoyed your this thing.
Really enjoyed. Really enjoyed.
Thank you very much.
Thank
No
you very
game
much.
today. No game today.
Very good.
Thank
Tip
you.
given.
As
Very,
usual,
very
a
interesting.
fantastic session with
so
you.
interesting and engrossing.
Okay, I have also been muted along with everyone else. So
I
I said
just
it was a
wanted to thank-
fantastic session, Anandji. And
Thank you,
like I mentioned in the beginning, I wish we had somebody like you who could have guided us. Maybe our brains would have been working on turbocharge right now also. So, but starting at any point is always good. So I hope with whatever tips and all that you've given us, we start off with these tips. And I think focus is a major thing and we focus on everything. And that is what makes us overthink. So like you mentioned, we should just focus on, and I wish we had the willpower to give up on a lot of things like you have done. And I think we just get tempted with, watching TV, watching movies, talking to people, hearing the gossip and everything. And then it keeps playing on our mind. So obviously we lose focus on a lot of things. And in fact, Rajesh ji was asking this question that mujhe to yaad nahi rehta. So I have to talk about his knowledge, which is like immense knowledge that he has about yoga and other things and all that. He's into a lot of things. So obviously when his focus is there, minor things like what food he ate has never been a criteria for him. So this is just an example I'm taking up because of the question that he asked. And I think that's what happens with a lot of us. So I'm sure we're going to use all the tips that you have told us. So in fact, I would just like to thank you for bursting this bubble of our perceptions that we have, and now we know that we can actually shape our, power of using our brain in whichever direction we want to use it in. So thank you for giving us those inputs. So ladies and gentlemen, with this, we come to the end of today's session, and I would just like to conclude with a few lines and thank Mr. Anand for doing this. And I think I'm really, really grateful to you, Anandji, that every time we want to do something for our elders, you have always just, been there, and you have, despite your very, very hectic schedule, you've always just said yes to it, and you have accommodated us, whenever. So I'm really, really, grateful and thankful to you for that. So
thank you.
Right. So concluding with a few lines, with whatever Anandji has said, I know I cannot come up to that level of what he has said, but even then, it says, open your mind and explore its vastness into infinity and beyond, through thoughts rattling around and evaluating everything in its path. This is how brain becomes its own creator. And when the brain becomes its own creator, mastering your mind cannot be far behind. So with that, thank you so much, everyone. And thank you so much for joining in. And Anandji, a big thank you from all of us present here. And we hope to have few more interesting sessions with you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and see you all tomorrow at 7:25 sharp for our next Elder Hour program in our Elders First Festival. So take care and good night.